Well, welcome to this talk. In this talk, we're going to look at how the vaccine mRNA basically cons our cells into producing spike protein, how that spike protein goes onto the surface of our body cells, potentially anywhere in the body, could be the heart, lungs, brain, ovaries, kidneys, testes, and how that spike protein labels the cell for destruction by our own immune system. And our own immune system is very good at that. It will destroy our own body cells in autoimmune pathology. Well, here we see the SARS coronavirus 2 viral particles, and we can see the spike protein that's expressed from the surface of the virus. This is what allows them to infect human cells. And the spike protein can also be released into the blood from the vaccine. But here, what we're actually seeing in this graphic here is we're seeing the ribosome. This is the mini protein producing factory inside our cells. And here we're seeing it reading this RNA here, but this is the synthetic RNA from the virus. So in a sense, this is producing a synthetic spike protein. But it's being produced, the spike protein is being produced in the cytoplasm of the cell as the ribosome translates the genetic information from this genetic sequence that's been injected and transported via the lipid nanoparticle to produce this spike protein. In a sense, we could call it a synthetic spike protein. And this RNA strand can be read many times, giving a very unpredictable dose. No one knows how long it's going to carry on producing spike protein for, although in some people it's a long time. Now here's the spike proteins here, growing up. But here they're growing up on the surface of our own body cells. So these look like mushrooms popping up here, but it's not. This is the spike protein being produced, popping up on the surface of body cells. The spike protein that's been produced by this synthetic RNA that's got there from the lipid nanoparticle. And because the lipid nanoparticles are systemically distributed, because they go everywhere, this can happen in any cell of the body. Any cell of the body that the messenger RNA comes into contact with can start producing these spikes. And of course, these are quite abnormal. They're not supposed to be there. They're foreign proteins. Now, what's supposed to happen when a cell is infected by a virus? And remember, viruses are obligate intracellular parasites. They can only reproduce inside other cells. And the immune system patrols the outside of the cell. So the immune system patrols the body humours and the body tissues. It doesn't go inside the cells. So if there's a viral infection inside one of our cells, that viral biochemistry is going on inside the cell. And the cell wants to alert the immune system that there's a viral infection inside it. But the immune system can't see into the cell. So what the cell does is very clever. It takes some of the viral proteins and it transports those to the surface of the cell and it expresses those on the body cell. So if you have a virally infected cell, that will be expressing viral proteins on the surface of your body cell. And in that case, the immune system will see it and the cells of the immune system will destroy that infected cell. So to begin with, we have cells called natural killer cells, the large lymphocytes, and they will kill virally infected cells. And then later on we have cytotoxic small T cells, small lymphocytes, that will kill virally infected cells. Now the reason that the body kills the virally infected cells, even though it means killing its own body cells, is that it's killing the places where the viruses are replicating. If the immune system doesn't kill the infected cell, then that cell will generate thousands of copies of the virus, they will float off and infect other cells, and the viral infection will proliferate. So the body thinks, so let's cut my losses and we'll just eradicate the cell. So here we see these popping up. These spike proteins are now popping up on the body surface cells where they're not supposed to. Very often these are probably in the vascular endothelium, inside the blood vessels, and the cells lining the blood vessels, the vascular endothelium. And this could be in any blood vessel anywhere, in the heart or the kidneys or the brain or the testes or the ovaries. It could be absolutely anywhere that the spike protein goes. So remember, the cells, when they're infected by a virus, they want to say to the immune system, hey there, I'm here, come and destroy me. You know, I'm a source of viruses, you need to get rid of me. And it does that by labelling viral proteins on the cell surface, and that's exactly what's happened in this situation. And I think you probably get the next bit of the story now. Now it's labelled with spike protein, the immune system will come along and destroy that cell. So here we see spike protein in lots of body cells. Spike protein expressed by many body cells in the vascular endothelium lining the blood vessels. And then antibodies are going to stick onto the surface of these spike proteins. And what happens here is these antibodies act as something called opsonins. They label that cell. So the antibodies will get between the spike protein and the immune cells. They'll communicate between those two, and the immune cell will then destroy the body cell. And that's exactly what we see happening here. We see that body cells here and here have been destroyed, leaving gaps, basically leaving wounds in the surface of the vascular endothelium, because the body has been conned into thinking that these cells are infected with a virus because their surfaces are expressing viral proteins. And here we see lots of cells in the vascular endothelium dying because they're being killed by the body's own immune system. Now, this is bad, and it's bad for several reasons. First of all, well, it's a wound, isn't it? So that's bad. It's an inflammation. But as well as that, this vascular endothelium normally produces anticoagulants that keep the blood liquid, because the blood in circulation is very liquid. It has to be liquid, so it circulates around everywhere. So the damaged surface endothelial cells, these cells here, are no longer producing this anticoagulant for the surface. So we've got reduced anticoagulation on the surface, making coagulation, that's blood clotting, more likely. Also, now we have wounds. Now, when the platelets in the blood, the thrombocytes, when they come across a wound, like if you've cut your hand, they come across a wound and they think, there's a wound there, we better start clotting together and initiate the coagulation cascade to form a blood clot, otherwise our person is going to bleed to death. So obviously, when the platelets come across a wound, they initiate blood clotting. That's why we don't all bleed to death every time we get a little injury or a cut. But of course now, the wound is inside the blood vessel. So that's going to stimulate blood clotting or thrombosis as well. So we've got the lack of the natural anticoagulants that the vascular endothelium is producing. We've got the platelet activation as a result of the wound. And as well as that, spike protein can initiate clotting directly. So we've got a triple whammy that can cause blood clots. So that's not good, because we are essentially wounding the inside of the vascular endothelium by the body's own immune system, as the body's own immune system recognises the spike as being foreign, thinking it's a virally infected cell, and therefore correctly obliterates our own body cells via autoimmune processes. So the vaccines are just producing the spike. And of course, it's the spike proteins that are the toxic part of the virus. So why the manufacturers chose to produce the most pathogenic part of the virus is rather strange. Why didn't they choose to stimulate the immune system with a more benign part of the virus. It's very strange. I don't understand that one. But anyway, that's what they did. Anyway, let's watch the rest of this excellent graphic from Arki. Links below. Do click on his videos. Yeah, so the vaccines were based just on the genetic code supplied, hopefully, early on in the pandemic by the Chinese. Now, here we see the blood clot. We see that blood clot there. So as a result of lack of anticoagulants produced by the vascular endothelium, as a result of platelet activation caused by activation of the platelets, initiating thrombus formation or blood clot formation, and as a result of the spike protein itself, here we've got a blood clot inside a blood vessel. Blood clots on the surface of the body where they're preventing bleeding to death, brilliant. Blood clots inside blood vessels, very bad. That's called a thrombus or thrombosis. So a thrombus is the formation of a blood clot inside a blood vessel, which should never have blood clots. And if bits of that break off, that's called embolism. Emboli can break off and fly to different parts of the body, potentially blocking off bits of the circulatory system. So here we see that a blood clot is formed. We see that there's red cells in it. We see that there's white cells in it. And we see that it's held together by these fibrin strands. These fibrin strands are supposed to be in solution. What happens is you have fibrinogen in the blood. But when the coagulation cascade is triggered, this fibrinogen is converted to fibrin. So fibrinogen is in solution, it's liquid. Fibrin is a long sticky strand. Some people call it fibrin. Fibrin, exactly the same thing. And the blood clot, the blood cells will stick to that, causing the blood clot where we don't want it, which is a thrombosis. We see the spike protein causing all sorts of trouble, both by direct toxicity and via autoimmune mechanisms. And here we see the antibodies that the spike protein causes to be generated. Well, I think you'll agree they're pretty amazing graphics from Arki Tangsoo. Now, he's made these available freely. Do click on the links below to watch the full links of his films. They last just over an hour each. Really quite superb. One on the vaccines, one on the vaccine trials. And yeah, support him any way you can, because he doesn't get paid for this work. So thank you very much for allowing us to use these graphics. And of course, thank you for watching.